Hey everybody, this is Will with Vector Arrow. I'm really excited to show you my new plugin, Vector Expression, and the Pro version, Vector Expressions Pro. Now, Vector Expressions is an expression engine. It lets you insert dynamic data straight into Gutenberg. So what does that mean? Why would you want to use it? Well, let me show you a simple, practical example, and we'll get on to more advanced ones as well. First, let's take a classic Gutenberg problem, the copyright issue. Now, in Gutenberg, we only want one part of this text to be dynamic, and that's the year. We don't want to have to come into this every single year and update it. The problem is, it's only the year that needs to be dynamic. In order to solve this, we could create custom PHP code, create a custom block, or with vector expressions, we can, right in the middle of this static content, create a custom expression to get the current year. So Vector Expressions Pro comes with a simple date.year syntax. If you're using the free version, you can use now in date to format it yourself. But since I have Pro installed, I'm just going to use the Pro version. And you can see that this is a dynamic token of data right in the middle of our Gutenberg content. No fuss, no messy PHP code, no need to create an entire block just for this one thing. I've got copyright. Now that's a really simple example. Let's look at some more complex examples. Let's go ahead and save. And we'll take a look at the front end again. So you can see, before we go to the more complex example, I'll just show you on the front end, it's clean static text. No messy markup, no crazy block wrappers. We just got 2026 right in our copyright. Now let's take a look at some more complicated examples. If we scroll down here, I've got some WooCommerce products. Now, this is a pretty normal thing, just having a grid of products. But what's special here is that we've got right within our headings the title right in line with the price. Now, again, this is another example of where with Gutenberg, it's kind of hard to do this. Usually you would need separate blocks, and then you'd have to style it so they're all sort of in line, but that gets pretty messy, or you could write your own custom block for it. But with expressions, we're able to put them side by side. Another thing we're doing here is we're making custom styles. You can see here that the buttons are different colors, and they're different colors because of the price. So I have an expression that says, if the price is above $80, make the button teal. So if you can see all the different prices as we go on, nothing else is teal, except for the products that are over $80. Now this is pretty cool. Normally it would take code to achieve this, but let's go ahead and see how we're achieving both the title and the button coloration in the back end. So here you can see these green underlines are indicating that these are tokens. If we click into it, we actually find out that this is a pattern. So this is something that we can insert on any page. We could insert into a product page, and it would pick up the same exact data. We can put it into a query loop, and it will display correctly for each product. Let's go ahead and edit the actual pattern. So here you can see that the dynamic data isn't previewing quite the same because it's inside of a pattern, so it doesn't have the product context data. So instead it just places a dynamic placeholder. But if we click into it, you can see here we've got a post title token, we've got a product price that is getting formatted by WooCommerce's price output. And all of this is just within a simple heading block. Now this is actually a third-party heading block. This is with Cadence, but this doesn't have anything to do with Cadence itself. We could just as easily put this into a native Gutenberg heading and it would work. If we come down here, we can see that this is the post excerpt. Nothing crazy going on here. And finally, let's go to the button. So when we click on any block and we open the vector expressions panel, we can see a few different options. First is visibility. We can control it through vector expressions. So you could do this to control whether a user with a certain role or just being logged in can see the block. And if it evaluates to not true, it won't render at all. So it won't just hide it with CSS, but it actually won't render it. We've also got dynamic classes, and you can use this to control the styling. If you've got a developer writing CSS classes for you, you can do different applications like, controlling the background through classes or making things screen reader only, whatever you need. We've also got this HTML tab. It's letting us set the post URL here dynamically. So this is just a normal Gutenberg button block, and I've decided that I want this to be a dynamic URL. So I've input a expression here, and this is overriding the href to the post URL. Now I can put whatever I want here. So if I wanted to put a prefix after the post URL, if I wanted to put, an anchor, I could. URL query parameters, if I wanted to put multiple expressions, I can. And those will all evaluate to that link URL attribute. I can also add my own custom bindings, so I could target different elements within the block or the block itself. I can target different attributes, ARIA attributes, data attributes, whatever I want. And then I can, in the exact same way, set it to a custom expression. And I can add as many of these as I want. Finally, let's go to the CSS option, which is what's controlling the price-based button color. So here you can see I have a little bit of CSS created, and I'm setting a CSS variable to this expression that I have. So this expression is just saying for the product price, if it's over 80, set it to this color. Otherwise, set it to another color. So this is a really basic example, but you can set CSS variables, you can target with CSS selectors, you can set CSS properties, whatever you need to do, you can do it here. Now on the front end, this is getting put into a scope. So it's only going to impact the block that you are targeting and below. If you want to limit the scope itself so that it doesn't impact every single ancestor, you can also use the scope limit to add a to argument here, and that will make it so that your CSS rules are only going to impact up to whatever that CSS selector is. So all in all, pretty powerful, a lot of different tools at your disposal, and finally you can get dynamic data straight into Gutenberg.